How we doing, everybody? It is Sunday morning. I just woke up. It's the morning after Sean Strickland versus Anthony, not Alexander, Fluffy Hernandez. I'm on my way to the airport. I'm in the Uber, but I got a few further thoughts. Now, I got sent a tweet about maybe the blueprint to beating Fluffy, and it was a video of Kevin Holland finishing Fluffy, and it was a knee to the midsection, just like the way Sean Strickland did. And I kind of touched on this on the post-fight show last night. Fluffy is his nickname because he is kind of fluffy, and when you look at Fluffy, Anthony, who is a tremendous fighter, by the way, and this is in no way, shape or form me talking any kind of crap about the guy. I have tremendous respect for him, the way that he carries himself. I'm trying to get out of the shade. I have tremendous respect for the way that he carries himself and the way that he fights, more importantly. The guy really is a solid fighter, man. He's one of the best in the world. He really is. But Kevin Holland finished him with a knee to the midsection. And last night, Sean Strickland did the same thing. We all know, I think it was the third round, in the middle of an exchange, beautiful knee to the stomach. That really did problems. And Fluffy could probably make welterweight. That's my honest opinion. He could probably make welterweight because he's not the most hard-bodied. He's maybe a little soft-bodied, and I think maybe that's hence the nickname Fluffy, right? And he needs to maybe work on that because he could be a champion, certainly in the welterweight division, certainly at middleweight, because the man was on a ridiculous 8-fight winning streak. But you've got to make the sacrifices. At one point, I was 15-0. I was 15-0 and I had a split decision loss to Rashad Evans, and then I cut weight. I dropped down to the middleweight division. I remember I was. Everyone was cutting weight. Rashad Evans was in the sauna. I remember seeing him in the sauna with all his team around him, and they were like all like credit cards on him, like scraping the sweat off him so that the sweat goes quickly, and then so he can sweat more. And at the same time, I was headed to a Chinese restaurant to eat some noodles and drink some 7-Up. And when I lost that fight, which was a highly contentious split decision, and some people thought I won, but it was close, and I gave it to Rashad because he got a takedown right at the end. After that, I was like, okay, well, if I'm going to be a champion, I've got to make the sacrifices that everyone else is making. And maybe when I saw Rashad cutting weight like that, maybe I wasn't making those sacrifices to truly be elite. Now, I did go on. I dropped down to the middleweight division, and it was a long old road, and I lost an eye and loads of injuries and 2 total knee replacements, and my neck is destroyed and I live in pain. But I also live a great life because I was able to become the champion of the world. I ended up in the Hall of Fame. And would that have happened in the light heavyweight division? Who knows? Maybe. But you got to make those sacrifices. And having a tough midsection, having abs as a fighter is very, very important because it will help you in those situations. Like you'll see videos like on the Rocky videos, he's doing loads of abs and stuff like that. The Rocky videos, the Rocky movies, what am I saying? I've just woke up, guys. I'm just on my way to the airport. But in the Rocky movies, and any kind of like training montage, you know, of like a boxing movie or, you know, a martial arts movie or whatever, they're always doing sit-ups, right? That's because you need a tough midsection to absorb shots to the body. So that's just a little bit of a thought. I don't think it's necessarily the blueprint to beating Fluffy, but it is maybe something he can work on in the future. I'm not saying he needs to drop down to middleweight to welterweight, because that'd be insulting. The man was on an 8-fight win streak. Now let's talk about a few more things. Again, Sean Strickland, I think he won everyone over last night with that post-fight speech. I thought what he said, you saw the real side of Sean Strickland.
To be honest, Fluffy's the man I want to be. He's married, he's a father, he's a hard worker. Fluffy's a bigger man than I could ever hope to be.
And of course, Sean has come out in the past, and he's been very open. Like when he was talking to Theo Von, talking about his abusive childhood, and the man, you know, he started crying. And Sean says a lot of things, and he talks a lot of shit, and like at the presser this week, you know, he was definitely on the more, shall we say, controversial side. You know, and he was talking about women's MMA and stuff like that.
You take the weakest, softest motherfucker here, and you guys would beat up Amanda Nunes.
And by the way, I'm sorry, I just hate to say, not any average man could beat Amanda Nunes in a fight. No disrespect to my Uber driver here, he's catching strays, but he could not beat Amanda Nunes in a fight, right? But Sean says these things, right? And he gets you all talking. So he's doing his job. Like at the ceremonial weigh-ins, he said, I'm more Mexican than all you guys. You all cheer for your local Mexican, right? I'm Mexican. I fight like a Mexican.
You fucking guy wrestles. I fight more like a Mexican than that motherfucker.
Right? And again, a lot of people complaining and whinging and crying on social media. It did the job. It generated hype. It got people interested. And I used to do the same thing. I used to talk a lot of crap, right? Doesn't mean I'm a bad person. It means I get it. I get the game, right? You're trying to promote. Now, granted, Sean does go overboard on occasion. But as I say, you know, you're having fun in the moment. You're letting that wild side of you kind of come to the forefront. And you're going to fight someone the next day. So you're kind of in a weird mental space. I remember like George St. Pierre, and I've said this many times, George is like one of the absolute goats and one of the greatest people you'll ever meet. I talked mad shit about George because I was trying to hype the fight. And I remember there was a clip with TMZ. We did a press conference at the Hockey Hall of Fame in Toronto. And then afterwards, and I wasn't bothered about George. He kind of touched me a little bit at the press conference, like give me a little shove. But I saw, because I recognised the TMZ cameraman, because, you know, TMZ were always on me. And I remember seeing the TMZ cameraman, and I said to Perillo, oh, here we go. So I went up to George, I was like, don't you ever touch me again. Don't you ever touch me again. And we had like a big back and forth and like bit of an argument on camera.
Hey, George, where I come from, you don't put your hands on a man.
Huh?
You put your hands on a man, that means you got a problem. Just keep your hands to yourself, Cass. I will knock you out right now.
Off, man.
Hey, I'm telling you.
Off. You're the one that put your hand on me.
Keep your hands to yourself.
Yeah.
And that went viral. It was all over the place, and it made the fight look really spicy and all the rest of it. And then I was at the ESPN studios, and I went into the bathroom, and there's George. He's urinal having a piss, and I'm going to stand next to him. I'm like, hey, what's up, George? How you doing, mate? And we actually both drove Range Rovers at the time, and we were having a little bitch about Range Rovers, about how they break down all the time, and they're a pain in the ass, and they're awesome cars, but they break down a lot, and you have a lot of issues. Anyway, I finished my piss, I zip up, I washed my hands, I went, right, George, sorry, mate, I'm going to have to be a dickhead again out there, because we were in public. Now, that doesn't mean that a lot of the time the trash talk was fake or completely fabricated, but it, you know, there was also a show element to it. Anyway, I'm going on a little bit. I do think that Sean is playing the game a little bit, and a lot of the stuff is a little bit offensive. But don't let it bother you. You know, there's a lot of people out there that are crying and whinging and complaining, going, cancel this man, don't let him fight. What are you talking about, right? If Sean's going on a benign rant, right, and talking, and yeah, he does say some stuff, but so what? You can't let people's words hurt you if they don't mean anything to you. If you don't like Sean Strickland and you don't like the things that he says, who cares what he says? You can't let words hurt you, right? So just get over that. Now, anyway, Sean did have some things to say at the post-fight speech about Khamzat Chimaev, the middleweight champion of the world. Called him a Chechen whore, and again, you know.
What do you want next, Sean? I don't know, man. Chimaev finally gets off the bench here. I'd like a piece of that little Chechen whore. But you never know with him, bro. You never know that guy, but that's what I want.
Khamzat isn't going to like that one. He's a very, very proud man, and he takes himself not seriously in a bad way, but he's not a guy to trifle with. That's kind of what I'm saying. So, again, Sean was saying the right thing. He's trying to get that title shot. He's trying to get Khamzat in the ring, and he wants to fight him for the belt. And I'll tell you what, the version that we saw of Sean Strickland last night, that was busier with the power shots. We always know he throws the teeps and he throws the jabs, but last night he was unloading with the right hands a little bit more. The jab opens everything up. The teeps keep the opponent at bay. It stops Fluffy advancing and progressing and getting into the pocket, which is where he wants to be, to land a couple of shots and then to get the takedown. Well, the jabs and the teeps kept him at bay, kept him at range, didn't allow him to get on the inside. And then Sean was moving away. It was a really, really, really good technical performance by Sean Strickland. And if you can't appreciate what you saw, maybe it's just because you haven't spent as much time training as I have. Let's just have a look real quick as I'm going down here on my Twitter feed to see what other MMA stuff. I'm watching a video here of Merab Dvalishvili doing the Arman Tsarukyan warm-up wrestling move where he's rotating on his head. Arman Tsarukyan again. No doubt he's going to have a lot of fun at Dan Hooker's expense, because if you saw what was being said off the weekend, Dan Hooker's going through a little bit of controversy right now, but it is his personal life, and his father-in-law got involved and his family are involved, so I'm not going to talk about that. Costa just finished Dan Ige in the first. Again, Melchizedek Costa looked absolutely amazing. That's a 6-5 win streak that is now on. Of course, we have a fight broke. Tatiana Suarez will be returning in action and taking on Gudi Lopinez. Lupi Godinez. What am I saying? I told you, I just got out of bed. I haven't had a drink yet, a coffee yet, should I say. Obviously, Joshua Van, he's got a title fight coming up. His first ever title defense. He will be taking on Tatsuro Taira. I think it's the co-main event of UFC 327 that goes down April 11th in Miami. I was supposed to be there doing the desk, but I'm not going. I requested to bow out of that one because I'm here in Houston. Great place, by the way, and I went to some amazing restaurants. I can't remember the name of the first one, but it was bloody amazing. Everything was homegrown. We had like some ghost cheese. The goats were from the farm that the restaurant had, and they ferment them all there, and everything's homegrown and all the rest of it. And then Papa's and Steakhouse on Friday night. That was ridiculous. So shout out everyone in Houston. And I gotta say, some of the nicest people, like literally all the staff backstage at the UFC event, in the hotel, the maids in the hotel, just all so nice and really, really polite and genuinely friendly. So yeah, I had a great time in Houston. Joshua Van fighting Tatsuro Taira to get back to the mixed martial arts, April 11th. Oh, that's what I was saying. I had to bow out of that one because I'm here in Houston. Next week I'll be in Mexico City. The week after I've got Power Slap and then UFC 326. The following week I'm commentating in the Apex. And then the week after that I'm off to London for Leroy Murphy taking on Movsar Evloev. So 5 weeks in a row, and I just did 4 weeks in a row, so I requested to be off that one. We don't know what the main event is yet. I have some inside information that I cannot reveal, or rumours anyway, but I can't say, so I'm not going to say. Here's Luke Thomas. I'm just looking at Twitter. Luke Thomas, Strickland's performance against Izzy might be his best, but this one is right up there with it. Let's talk about it. My UFC Houston post-fight show starts now. It was one of his best. It really was. Against Israel Adesanya, Sean shocked the world. He really did by taking the belt off him. But I just spoke all about that. Conor McGregor reacted to Sean Strickland's win. Conor said, that's what nothing but hours and hours and hours of sparring gets you. Who gives a haha, Sean's great. And Conor's right, man. It is. It's hours and hours in the gym, and I always say, if you want to get better at swimming, swim. You want to get better at football, play football. You know, soccer. You know, the English version of football, the one where you kick a ball with your feet. That's why we call it football. But if you want to get better at that, you got to play football. And if you want to get better at fighting, you've got to fight. You got to spar.
Want to all spar now? Yeah. Wait, are you staying here?
Yeah.
Okay.
All I got is little MMA gloves.
Yeah.
That's all I got. I don't have bigger gloves.
What, you want to spar?
I got the padded training gloves. But I know you spar different. I know how you.
Oh, I thought you meant to spar like a steam and that.
Like no, like.
Oh, fucking hell!
A couple more stories. It's all about Sean Strickland here. What else do we have down here? By the way, MVP is fighting in London as well, so there'll be a good fight there. Oh, Sean Strickland. I haven't seen this. Sean Strickland's mic got cut. And the UFC PR wrapped up his post-fight interview after he finished going on a rant about Jim West. I won't finish the sentence off there. But yeah, I mean, again, Sean's going to talk. Sean's going to say things. I'm scrolling down and I'm seeing a lot of Elon Musk stuff, and I'm seeing a lot of crap, a lot of crazy shit. Dana White called out the media for asking Sean Strickland dumb questions. Ask dumb shit, you're going to get dumb shit. Are you kidding me? You guys like to push the buttons. He's right. He's right, you know. Ask him about Fluffy. Don't ask him about world topics. You're not going to Sean for views on the world. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, enough of that crap. I just thought I'd do a quick follow-up because basically Sean Strickland was brilliant last night, and there's a very, very good chance that he'll be fighting for a belt next. He should be against Khamzat Chimaev. Chimaev is down at the Santos Studios in Newport Beach, California. He's got a whole team of Chechens there. I did the Jackson podcast with him earlier this week. He trains hard. He's the team captain. He's training hard, but he's absolutely huge right now. It's not 235 pounds, 240 pounds. So I think he's doing a bit of a pre-camp to get down to middleweight. But anyway, that's it. That's all I've got right now. Anyway, here we are. We're on the way to the airport. Not too long now. And this is actually one of the first times I actually got a lie-in. Because normally, certainly if you're on the East Coast, the fights finish really late because of the 3-hour time difference from California. Sometimes the fights, or you don't get back to the hotel like 2 in the morning, and then you pick up for a 6 a.m. flight. It's like 4 a.m. So a lot of the time you don't even get any sleep. Last night I did go to sleep. I did have a couple of glasses of wine with Chris Weidman and Dan Helly and all the UFC crew and Bruce Buffer. Bruce, 30 years with the organisation. That is unbelievable. Bruce Buffer is an absolute legend. Might have saw did a video with him yesterday. Yeah, the sport wouldn't be the same without Bruce Buffer, and that is an absolute fact. Bruce Buffer's done 30 years. Check this out. I've done 20 years with the UFC. So hopefully we get to another 10. Anyway, thanks for watching, everyone. As always, subscribe and win the belt, as Bruce Buffer said last night. But yeah, thanks for watching. Take care. I'm off home. All the best. Bye-bye.